Now before we start talking about the new iPhones, let's maintain 5 seconds of silence for the death of the Mini. Well, Apple has done it. It has removed the iPhone 13 mini from the lineup this year, and there's no mini edition this year. And you know what? That's gonna be a letdown for a lot of folks who love compact and handy phones. But this year, Apple has announced 4 new iPhones: the iPhone 14, the new iPhone 14 Plus, the iPhone 14 Pro, and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now, Arun, of course, was there at Cupertino watching the event while we were watching it here, and he got hands-on time with the products as well. And therefore, we have a hands-on video of all the 4 phones, of which the iPhone 14 Pro series is definitely more exciting. If you don't know me yet, I'm Ershad, you're watching Trakin English. Let's talk more about the new iPhone 14 series. Now, starting with the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, they are huge upgrades, especially in terms of display. The bucket notch has now been replaced by a pill-shaped notch, and Apple calls it a dynamic island. And you know what? NKBHD's tweet around that dynamic island was the most apt description of it. This is the most Applest thing that Apple has ever done. Anyway, talking about that dynamic island, it is definitely smaller than the bucket notch, and it makes use of software to dynamically show you animations depending on whatever you're doing, at that very moment. So say for example, if there's a song playing, then that looks slightly different compared to, when the AirPods is connected. So that also has some sort of animation. Now, what will be interesting to see is, how third-party app developers will use this dynamic island. We'll have to wait and watch to see how that actually functions in real life. But the moment Apple showed the dynamic island, we all went nuts. We were all watching it together in office, and it was a crazy moment because that's definitely the biggest change you can see this year. Apart from that, you get more screen estate now, the bezels are slimmer, and finally you have an always-on display, which of course has existed on Android for the longest time. Apple has also improved the LTPO panel. It of course refreshes from 1 Hz to 120 Hz, but now there's this dynamic dimming feature of sorts where you can see that certain parts of the display itself are bright and certain parts are dark, and you can get all of that information, including your widgets and notifications that pop up on the screen. Also, interestingly, Apple maintains the skin tones when you have a person on the screen, and that's definitely a good thing. But the display improvements don't stop there. The iPhone 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max can now touch a peak brightness of 2000 nits, especially when you're viewing it outdoors. And the peak brightness in HDR can go up to 1600 nits, and the typical brightness stays at 1000 nits, which is fantastic. All of this is possible because there's a separate display chip within the A16 Bionic, which is new on the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. If you like the kind of content that we make, don't forget to support us. Hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. Now, talking about the A16 Bionic, it's based on a 4nm fabrication process, and Apple says that it is 40% faster than the fastest Android chip out there, which I'm presuming is the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. Also, thanks to this new A16 Bionic, the power efficiency has also improved slightly. Now you get a 1 hour more of battery life from both the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max compared to the 13 Pro and the 13 Pro Max. Now, obviously, it wouldn't be a Pro model if Apple didn't upgrade the cameras. There are, of course, upgrades to the camera, and this time there's a huge, massive island, and of course, it's gonna cause a lot of table wobble. The first big change is that it's a primary 48 megapixel camera now, as the leak suggested, and it's a Samsung sensor. We don't know which one exactly though. Also, this camera is supported by the 2nd generation sensor shift stabilization, which is of course better. Now, we've seen 48 megapixel cameras on many Android phones till now. These cameras can take 12 megapixel pixel bin shots, and in pixel bin setting you can get sharper images. That's generally the case, but you know what, we'll have to test it out for sure. Now, this 48 megapixel camera also lets Apple do 2x telephoto shots. Now, Apple says 2x telephoto, but I'm presuming it's hybrid of that because it uses the power of that camera to crop in and get sharper images, which is again something that Android phones have been doing for the longest time. That said, when I saw the picture that Apple shared, the dynamic range performance didn't look great, and what I noticed was that the bright background was slightly overexposed, which is a problem with the iPhone 13 Pro series as well. So I hope Smart HDR4 doesn't do it that bad, but again, we'll have to test it out and wait and watch. Now, you also have that Pro RAW mode, and with that Pro RAW mode, you get 48 megapixel readouts now, so you get that full stack of pixels available for you for edit. Not only the primary, but the ultra wide and the telephoto have also improved, especially in low light performance, with the ultra wide doing 3x better photos compared to the iPhone 13 Pro and the telephoto doing 2x better photos. Now again, these are just numbers that Apple throws, but again, we'll test them side by side to let you know how the performance has improved. Now one change that I particularly liked on the iPhone 14 Pro series is the fact that now you get autofocus with the selfie camera, which means that it also will help with videos, which is of course very good. Now video recording on iPhones have been fantastic, but Apple has added a couple of new features. The first thing is that you can shoot at 4K 24 frames per second, which is of course great for pro video makers, whoever loves 24 frame video recording. And apart from that, now you have a special action mode which takes better stabilization than before when you're doing action shots, which looks very similar to gimbal stabilization. Again, at least what Apple showed looked very good. Another new feature that Apple has added is crash detection on the new iPhones, which is of course a feature that is more suited for the watch, but it's also available on the iPhone. Fall detection has already existed, but now with the use of the sensors that are available within the phone itself, the iPhone can detect whenever a car crash happens and send an SOS, which is of course going to be extremely useful, especially in a country like India, where we do see a lot of road crashes happen. In fact, in India, there was a very sad car crash incident that happened, which took the life of Cyrus Mistry, and therefore, features like these are very useful, provided of course they work well. Now, another safety feature that Apple has added to the iPhone 14 Pro specifically is a satellite mode, where the iPhone 14 Pro's internal antennas can actually latch onto a satellite in case of a very emergency situation. Again, a feature that's absolutely useful, but unfortunately it's not coming to India. For viewers from the US, there's a major change that's happened with the way you'll be using your SIM card this year. The iPhone 14 series will only support eSIMs. Interestingly, there's also an unlocked version, but apparently that's going to cost you more. Now finally, about the iPhone 14 Pro, you've got 4 new colors, with deep purple being the showcase color this year. However, what we noticed was the deep purple doesn't look like they showcase it in the pictures. It's kind of too deep, in real life. Alright, now coming to the iPhone 14 and the new iPhone 14 Plus. Of course, the biggest new change is the fact that now you have a new 6.7-inch display. iPhone 14 Plus and the mini is no more. The iPhone 14 has the same design and same notch as the iPhone 13. Nothing's changed, except that new blue color does look very nice. Internally, you don't get the upgraded A16 Bionic, but you do get the A15 Bionic from last year. But it's now a 5-core GPU instead of 4-core, which is the only slight upgrade. However, with this 5-core GPU, Apple says that you get better thermal efficiency, which means that you can play games for longer without it throttling, which is of course a very good thing. Apple has managed to improve the battery life this year as well, but it's again a very slight improvement. 1 hour more of video playback you get on the iPhone 14 compared to the iPhone 13, and of course the iPhone 14 Plus does better battery life. There is an improvement to the primary camera this time around. You get a bigger sensor. It's a 1.9 micron pixel size compared to 1.7 micron pixel size, and you get a larger aperture size as well. You get an f/1.5 aperture size compared to f/1.7. Of course, all this enables better low light photography. Apple says it's 2x better. I don't know how they measure these numbers, but again, we'll test it out. Rest of the features are the same as the Pro models. You get the action camera, you get 4K 24 FPS video recording, and a selfie camera, a true depth camera system with autofocus. And when it comes to safety features, you do not get that satellite SOS feature, but you do get crash detection. Now, US pricing for the iPhone 14 and the 14 Pro models are unchanged. They are the same as last year. But in India, the iPhone 14's base price is the same as the iPhone 13, and the iPhone 14 Plus is 10,000 rupees more. Unfortunately, though, the iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max are 10,000 rupees more this year around, and I think that's just a lot of money to pay for a phone. Regardless, please don't make those kidney jokes. They're getting really stale now. Also, I'm waiting for those price comparisons with different countries. So, people will start writing stories about it, about, you going to that country, buying it for cheaper and coming back and yet saving some money. I mean, these things are going to happen for sure. You cannot avoid it. However, there's one good thing. If you're planning on buying the new iPhone 14 series, pre-orders start on September 9th, and it will be available from September 16th, which is the same across in the US as well. Although I'm presuming that most of us will end up buying the iPhone 13 during Flipkart's BBD sale, because Flipkart is saying that it's going to be the craziest iPhone prices ever. So this is all we know about the iPhone 14 series for now. And that's the time that we had with the iPhone 14 series as well. There's a lot to test and we will definitely do that. So if you aren't subscribed to our channel yet, don't forget to do that. And it's but obvious that the iPhone 14 and the 14 Plus look like minimal upgrades, whereas the Pro looks far more exciting. But most people will end up buying the 14 and the 14 Plus because of course it's far cheaper. Alright, so what do you guys think of the new iPhones? Do let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Ershad signing off. Keep tracking and stay safe.